So there are some mistakes that you can make on dating apps that just completely tank your results. And the good thing is they're actually quite easy to fix, but they're very often missed. So I want to talk about that. And I also want to talk about what to do if you ever get shadow banned or banned, or how to avoid it ever happening to you. So the first thing I want to mention is your dating intention. And this is probably the most common big mistake that I see guys miss, is that they will say that they're open to short term in any capacity or figuring out their dating goals. You should just say that you want a long-term relationship or even a life partner. Because the fact of the matter is 80%, I believe, of users on dating apps want a relationship. And I believe that number is going to be even higher for Hinge since it's more relationship focused. And this data was also including men. So it's going to be even higher for women. And it's kind of like a red flag, just like having, flirty prompts, sexually framed prompts, or like shirtless pictures in front of the mirror. So really, I mean, you can go that direction, but like 95, 99% of guys shouldn't, because they just don't know what they're doing. You typically have to drop your standards if you actually want hookups, and it's just a completely different dynamic. And this isn't either my opinion either. Hinge has come out and said that 83% of millennials and 75% of Gen Z users check someone's dating intention before they even like them. It's important. And the thing is, putting relationship doesn't mean you just want to immediately go exclusive and lock somebody down. It just means you're open to it. Like, you want to build towards it. And for context, this is supported. I mean, Match Group, the company who owns Tinder and Hinge, put out data showing that 69% of women have dated multiple people at the same time before going exclusive. So whether it's right or wrong is up to you, but it's useful to know it is normalized. And I personally prefer that too, because it really does take a while to get to know somebody, to get, past that honeymoon phase, to just really, know their negatives, for my negatives to come out, and for like us to actually understand whether or not we're a good fit together. And I think it's just a little bit premature to be exclusive with somebody until you know that. Now, the second big mistake has to do with your pictures. And I'm going to go to the Hinge subreddit because this will immediately click once you see it. And in this first one, the profile is fine overall, but the first and last pictures are way worse than the rest. And you're only as good as your worst picture. So here's also another one right below that one. Again, it's a good profile overall. The she comes first photo is kind of funny, but it also feels weirdly staged. Like he told a friend to take that shot. And it's also, I can see some women not exactly liking that. I also don't know why he has a picture of his passport photo as his last one. It's not a good idea. I mean, I'm pretty sure, old passport photos, you have to like not smile and just have a resting bitch face on it. But yeah, make sure no pictures are holding you back. Also that your first photo is your best. So, don't be looking away from the camera. Don't have like sunglasses on. They're not even going to view the rest of your profile unless that first one actually entices them enough. And if you don't know which one is your best, because it is hard to be able to view yourself as an outsider, I can help, but I charge. But something you can do is just go to that Hinge subreddit, Hinge app. I think that's the name of it. And just make a temporary post on it, asking for advice. Most threads do get a comment or two, and then just delete it. Now, the third thing is that volume just isn't there, meaning you don't like enough profiles. And you might think this is kind of obvious or that you're good, but what typically happens is that guys will actually like enough profiles, but then a match will come and they'll be talking to somebody and they just kind of forget it. And they become so fixated on a single match that they're not actually doing the thing that got them the match in the first place, and it's liking enough profiles. And I find 30 a day is kind of a sweet spot. You can go to 50 as well. I think the problem really is if you are going like a few hundred a day, then you're going to be kind of spammy. That could put you into a little bit of trouble. But 30 is good if you do that just for the whole day. Like, if you don't know whether or not your pictures and profile need actual improvement, send out 30 likes a day on Hinge. So you'll have to get one of the subscription tiers. And if you get less than 8 matches in that month, then you're going to need some improvement. I find that's a pretty good benchmark for whether or not you should double down on pictures or prompts or whatever it may be. But just get the reps in first and have some patience. Now, also, another thing you can do, this is not really a big mistake, but more of a useful tweak, and just to be a little bit more lenient on your deal breakers. If you don't know what deal breakers are, basically those are just like whether you're open to somebody who's a little bit older, a little bit younger, lives a little bit farther away than you'd like. It's just good to like get the matches and the likes first, and then you can refine a little bit later. Just kind of like push that limit to see, is this a preference or is this actually a deal breaker? Like there's settings in there, like whether or not you want to meet somebody with a kid. That's like a clear deal breaker that you can set from the get-go. But like ideally I would, meet somebody who's just 2 years older than me if the woman were to be interested in that. But I think like if someone was like 3 or 4, maybe even 5 years older than me and we really fit well, then yeah, I'll probably be okay with that. And it's not really a deal breaker. It's just a preference. Now, what about bans and shadow bans? Well, first test if you're actually shadow banned. So go into your settings and actually change the location to some other city. It can be in a different country, whatever. This usually gives a pretty noticeable boost in the amount of attention and likes. Like if you're getting just one, it means you're not shadow banned and that you just actually need better pictures and profile and everything. Aside from all that, if you are shadow banned, and the same thing if you are banned, what you're going to have to do is get a new account and you need a new number, and the number shouldn't be from some online website because that's not likely to work. You should actually get it from a telecom company. You're going to need new pictures because, you can tell if it's been uploaded before. And if you really want to take it to another level and be safe because you've just invested in a new number, I would actually forego the pictures and get a video instead, because I don't believe like in any facial technology, like they would bother with videos. Nobody puts videos as, their pictures. So that's probably a little loophole if you're wanting to be safe. I have a video on it, how on my channel, I'll link to it below, but essentially how you can make a little talking head video like this, talking to the camera and just kind of show off your vibe. And then because Hinge also requires 6, you could just, have somewhere you're just looking away from the camera so it doesn't detect you as easily, or just have some fillers as your dog or something you're proud of, maybe an instrument that you play or whatever, just to play it safe. You're probably good with at least just getting different pictures, but this is if you want to play it safe. Now, in terms of avoiding that happening, I always hear the guys say, oh, I didn't do anything, and then I got banned. And I'm going to assume that's the case. So there's a few things that are very likely to do it. The first is if you power swipe. Yes, I'll power swipe like on everybody. Or even if you do swipe no, but you just like send so many likes. I don't know the number, a few hundred a day. I have no idea. But just be more cautious with that sort of thing. Something else is if you constantly, and I believe this is probably what causes it for a lot of guys. So if they get frustrated, they delete the app, delete their account, uninstall, and then reinstall, and then do that a few times over. Like that is kind of spammy behavior that you're just trying to get the new account boost. And I would say that's probably the case for a lot of guys. Also recognize that AI reads your messages. Like I've had a few times where I said something and it was like, are you sure you want to send this aggressive type of messaging? I can't remember what I said, but it was the context. It was not aggressive at all. But the fact is that it can read your messages, and if they're like a little bit aggressive and hostile, if some women upset you just unmatch, really, it's not worth it. It's not worth it. Of course, like the chat will be gone from them. They can't respond anymore. I get it can be like upsetting, but it's not worth actually showing that to women. And another thing too, especially if you're a little bit new to the apps, is recognizing how like normal it is to get ignored constantly. Like this is what is the standard. Men completely outnumber women on the dating apps. A lot of women just aren't interested to meet anybody, or they'll show you profiles where they're barely active on it, or it's like a bot profile. Like getting rejected at mass scale is the default. And it is like, I have guys that are very good looking that I know who don't do as well as what you would think on the dating apps, especially that, naturally their standards would be a bit higher. So it's kind of like a grind for everybody. But, just know the context that it's not something that should be taken personally, at least. Like, you can still improve your pictures, and that very much will have a noticeable result, make a noticeable difference on the results, but getting ignored a lot is completely common. I mean, like, I do reasonably well on the apps, and, I've been open and I showed my matches on a video recently, the pictures of them and the conversations. If you're curious, I guess I'll link to that too in the description. But I mean, sometimes I'll go a week or more without a single match. Like, it also just kind of works in waves like that, which is like, you don't want to get too deep into the algorithm trying to figure it out, where you make a change and it works a bit, and then that would just burn you out. Like, it does work in waves. Sometimes a bunch will come, sometimes you don't. Have patience, log in at least once a day, get your reps in, don't overinvest. But anyway, if you're in that spot, let me know what you've done and how it's going for you. But otherwise, I'll talk to you again soon. Peace.